NASCAR has an interesting new pitch for a racing venue. Hi, I'm Gary Gastelou, and this is a car report. NASCAR has been looking for a new home in Southern California ever since it started demolishing the old Auto Club Speedway last year, and plans to replace it with a half-mile short track have been delayed. It's been doing the Clash at the LA Coliseum for the past 3 years, but it seems like it wants to move on from there to something new. The series says it's looked at a dozen options in the region, but it hasn't settled on one yet. As we've discussed before in this video right here, the Clash is likely to go to Mexico next year. So what NASCAR needs is a new place to hold a points race. And a new report from Sports Business Journal says it's been in talks with Dodger Stadium about using the iconic baseball venue for a race. Neither NASCAR or the stadium owners have publicly commented on this report, and it's also not clear whether or not they're talking about building a track in the stadium or maybe having one near it outside. The LA Coliseum was the perfect place to build a temporary quarter-mile track because the stadium's field is unusually large, bigger than a football field. In fact, even the distance from the backstop to dead center field in Dodger Stadium isn't as long as the Coliseum. And given the shape of a baseball field, it's hard to see how NASCAR could build an appropriate track for a Cup Series race, even one featuring a small number of cars. But there's another stadium that hosts a race on the other side of the country that might offer a template for what NASCAR could do at Dodger Stadium. A few years ago, the Miami Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium had its parking lots converted into a Formula One track. And while the inside of Dodger Stadium isn't that big, the parking lots and private roads around it are expansive. In fact, the electric racing series Formula E has already spoken to the folks there about setting up a temporary track for a race. It'd be pretty easy for NASCAR to step in and do exactly the same thing. It'd probably be even easier than the track they set up in downtown Chicago for the street race they launched last year. And it would almost certainly be simpler than the 2-month process of paving and then tearing up a track inside of a stadium. It will likely be a few months before we get the official word on this. NASCAR doesn't usually announce next year's schedule until the fall, but when we get it, we'll bring it to you. So subscribe to this channel and head over to AmericanCarsAndRacing.com every day for the latest news.